Hi, VencoreWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Monday, December 4th. A lot to talk about this morning. First of all, we've had the heaviest frost of the winter so far, the winter season so far here across eastern Pennsylvania, much of New Jersey, into the New York City region. It looked so thick this morning, it looked like a little bit of a layer of snow out there. Usually this time of the year when you have thick frost early in the morning, it's actually a sign that it may turn milder. It indicates that winds were calm, air is rather moist, high pressure is probably sitting right on top of the region. Therefore, it's about to move out, and indeed, high pressure will push off the coast later on today, and we'll get into the backside of the high, milder conditions. Even this afternoon, after the frosty start, we'll probably get up to the low to mid 50s, and then 60 degrees tomorrow ahead of a strong cold front. That cold front is a pattern-changing cold front. It'll usher in colder air for Wednesday after we get some shower activity late tomorrow, maybe even a period of steadier rain tomorrow night. Colder on Wednesday, and it looks like it's going to be a sustained period of cold weather right through the month of December. Not every day will be colder than normal, but certainly it looks like from midweek on, right through the rest of December, it'll be colder than normal on average, perhaps going into January, and there will be snow threats as well, beginning as early as late this week. A storm is going to try to get going along the East Coast late in the week, and it really could throw some snow back into the I-95 corridor anytime Friday into Saturday. We'll focus in on that over the next few minutes. Let's start off by looking at the ensemble run of the GFS. This is from 6Z, and we're looking at 5-day increments here in terms of 500 millibar height anomalies, the average over a 5-day period. And a few features I want to emphasize of importance here. First of all, deep upper level trough starts to set up here in the central and eastern U.S. over the next couple of days. Second, very strong ridging forms along the west coast of Canada and the Pacific Northwest coast. And finally, some oranges here representing higher heights than normal will persist over high latitudes, places like Greenland. This kind of upper air pattern is a classic cold pattern for the eastern U.S. and potentially a stormy pattern. When you see a ridge popping up along the west coast here, usually that results in a downstream trough, and oftentimes a downstream trough will lead to some coastal storm activity. So a very interesting pattern. Begins really around the middle of the week here with the colder air, the initial cold shot coming in on Wednesday of this week. But again, we'll move forward here. This is the first 5-day average period from today out 5 days, days 1 through 5, from the 6Z GFS ensemble run. Well, now we're looking at days 6 to 10. This is from December 9th to December 14th. And notice those three important features persist. Deep upper level trough here in the eastern U.S. Strong ridging across western Canada and the northwest coast of the U.S. And again, some blocking across the high latitudes near the North Pole and over Greenland. A cold pattern, potentially a stormy pattern here, persists through days 6 to 10. And here we go, another cold pattern here showing up in days 11 to 15. This is from December 14th to December 19th. Still continuation, deep trough over the northeast U.S., ridging over the Pacific Northwest, and some blocking continues over the northern latitudes. Now, I mentioned this last week. Keep in mind, this is the ensemble run of the GFS, which tends to smooth things out going forward with time. So this is liable to end up deeper than is, stronger than is showing up right now here. The ensemble run of the models tends to go towards climatology as the verification time goes farther and farther out there. So all of these features tend to be smoothed out in the days 11 to 15 forecast. The reason I'm showing the ensemble is it's a little bit more believable than the deterministic or the operational run, because it incorporates all kinds of slight changes to the input, so it gives kind of a higher confidence level in the output. So I'm showing the 500 millibar height anomalies. Again, this is days 11 to 15. The point is, sustained cold begins this week and midweek. Looks like a cold month of December for the central and eastern U.S. Well, how cold does it get? Well, let's take a look at the 850 millibar temperature anomalies from the 6Z ensemble run of the GFS. Again, this is an average over a 5-day period, days 1 through 5, the period we're in right now. Now, keep in mind, today will be milder than normal. Tomorrow, well above normal with highs at 60 or above in the I-95 corridor. So this, colder than normal, showing up even here in the I-95 corridor is a result of Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So again, a cold period beginning on Wednesday here in the Mid-Atlantic region. Well, now let's go out to days 6 to 10. Again, keeping in mind this is an ensemble run. It tends to smooth things out. Well, this is extremely cold air for this time of the year showing up here in days 6 to 10, basically the December 9th to December 14th time period. Way below normal throughout the Midwest, the Mid-Atlantic region, New England, all the way down to the Gulf states. Very impressive look to the cold expected here during the second week of December. Next week, basically, December 9th to December 14th. Again, this is a 5-day average in days 6 to 10. Well, how sustained is this? Well, this is just incredible. This is days 11 to 15. Again, way below normal. This is not only smoothed out because it's a 5-day average, but it's smoothed out because it's way out there in the future in an ensemble run. So this is indicating some very cold weather for this north-central part of the U.S., the northeastern part of the U.S., even all the way down to the Gulf states for the next couple of weeks, beginning again Wednesday of this week. Very cold looking 850 millibar temperature anomaly pattern. Again, this is from December 14th to December 19th. All of these maps, by the way, from tropicaltidbits.com. Well, let's now kind of focus in on the potential for snow late this week, both Friday and Saturday. There certainly is a threat for snow. We'll see if a storm can get going along the East Coast. Let's take a look first at the upper level pattern, the 500 millibar pattern. Now, this is from the operational or the deterministic run of the GFS model from 0Z last night. And first of all, we start off the week with some ridging at the higher levels of the atmosphere. Again, milder conditions this afternoon and quite a bit above normal tomorrow. Let's just walk through the upper level pattern here. And we see a deep upper level low starting to drop into the northern plains and the upper part of the Midwest by late tomorrow. We're advancing in 6-hour increments here. And then as we get into Wednesday night, the colder air has already made its push into the Mid-Atlantic region by late Wednesday. And now we'll start to see what could form along the East Coast by the latter part of the week. And we have a couple of things to focus in on. Pointed this out last week that there's really a kind of a strung out vorticity area showing up in the models, and a second, really the main upper level low hanging back. So how exactly this interacts with one another will determine what forms along the East Coast later on this week. Let's keep moving forward here. Now we're into Friday morning, and at this time there could very well be something forming right along the East Coast. And if that ends up forming a little bit too far out to sea for any snow in the I-95 corridor, the strong upper level low here hanging back could very well bring snow on Saturday. So really, the point is at this time, there certainly is the threat for snow late this week into the weekend. This kind of an upper level pattern is ripe with potential, frankly, but it's a little too early to pinpoint things right now. Again, this is now a strong upper level low sitting right on top of the region by the latter part of Saturday night into the early part of Sunday. So we'll focus in on this over the next few days. Well, let's now walk through the surface forecast maps from last night's 0Z GFS model run. Again, this is the operational GFS model. And I have to warn you, it shows a snowstorm in the Friday time frame. I'm not absolutely convinced of that. The potential is there. European model does not have it. In fact, the GFS at 6Z pushed it farther out to sea. So keep in mind that's a warning here. Don't get too excited yet. But here, let's walk through. This is the cold frontal passage. Showers tomorrow afternoon. Again, a breezy, mild day on Tuesday. Highs near 60 degrees in the I-95 corridor. By tomorrow night, could be some steady rain in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. This is the pattern-changing cold frontal system. By the time we get into Wednesday morning here, again, we're moving ahead in 6-hour increments on these maps. Colder air starts to move in. It'll be noticeably colder on Wednesday, considerably colder on Wednesday afternoon compared to Tuesday afternoon. Now, that frontal system moves off the East Coast. Part of it hangs back along the southeastern coastline. Then as we get into Thursday morning, lots of Gulf moisture forming, colder air already into the I-95 corridor. And again, that frontal system hangs along the coastline in the southeastern U.S. And the models tend to go back and forth with this potential for a storm to form here. And again, as I mentioned up front earlier, the GFS actually has a look of a snowstorm come late Friday night here for the I-95 corridor. Not definite. Certainly the potential is there, but the European model does not have that. In fact, the 6Z GFS model has it farther out to sea. Even if this initial chance were to not materialize, a second area associated with that deep upper level low itself that we talked about with the 500 millibar forecast maps, that will be coming into the picture on Saturday, and that will be in very cold air. Whatever falls on Saturday should be in the form of snow. And again, there's two threats really. One, the initial coastal possibility Friday time frame, and then the upper level low coming in on Saturday. So certainly something to monitor over the next few days. The cold is certain, the snow is not certain yet, but it's on the table for late this week and this weekend. And then let's just keep moving ahead here into Monday. Another very cold air mass starts to show up here, and it turns very cold here next week. And again, a sustained cold period begins on Wednesday of this week, continues for much of the month of December, perhaps even into January, and there will be snow threats as well. Of course, all of this means that the chances for a white Christmas are increasing here, let's say, for D.C., Philadelphia, and New York City. That's it for now. Stay tuned to VencoreWeather.com for the next several days to focus in on the snow threats for the end of the week. That's it for now. I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.